Sticks and Strings. I'm Naomi.
I'm Beth.
I'm Eve.
Today
You
we're
have a big
hiding.
needle in front of your face.
We're hiding Eve and Beth today.
Yes.
This is part of my Halloween costume, which I'll talk about later. But so anyway, welcome back. Happy November. We hope you had a great Halloween. And now it's all things fall, right? So I'm going to move this, and then we'll be right back.
So now you can see Beth, I guess.
You know, she always angles stuff to cover up.
Yeah, I know. I'm just trying to cover Beth. I don't know why. Just as because it's always a centerpiece, and sometimes it's too big. We try to have some kind of seasonal centerpiece, but all their stuff's packed away, and I guess I don't have a lot of fall stuff. I didn't want to bring my pumpkin back a third time.
I get very frustrated right now because I have all those different tablecloths and you know, I have stitching stuff. All my seasonal stitching stuff, except the stuff I had, you know, out.
Mm-hmm.
All of it is. I have this drawer thing that I have the fully finished seasonals because most of mine is little, you know, all in there, and I'm like,
It's all packed away.
I wonder how far back in the storage unit it is.
Well, I'm going to go first today. Most of what I've been working on this, I should take it out of this plastic, this week has been a cross stitch, if you can believe it.
The world is going to come to an end.
I know. That's why the weather changed. Is this Christmas at Hawk Run Hollow. And I'm working on this panel right here.
Yeah, it's called a garden samples, right?
Oh.
Is it? Yeah.
She's talking about a turkey. We'll talk about that in a second. So this is the, I'm working on one panel, and it originally says, I heard a bird sing in December, a magical thing and sweet to remember. And I saw a sample at the attic with different words, and I liked it, so I redesigned it, and this is how far I've gotten. It says, I heard a bird sing in dark December, a magical thing and sweet to remember. So I'm through magical here. And the words are as they are, as usual, going fast. But the little motives of the birds and pine cones and stuff aren't too big, so I think I can handle this. So I really like that. I know that, like, my daughter doesn't like the darkness of winter, and so when I saw this, I immediately thought of her, and I'm like, okay. And she doesn't actually, I've kept this a secret. She does not know I'm doing this. I'm proud of that. So I've been working on that, and then a little bit, I did a couple rows more of the cowl. I have a drop dead date of November 14. It's not drop dead. I can do it later. It's okay. She doesn't know. The lady I'm making this for doesn't know I'm planning to be done on November 14th. So if I'm not, I did measure this, and I have about 3 more of these purple sections to put in, I think, to make it the right width. So that's a lot of stitching. So today I'm going to be working on this because I've ignored it this week. So, and that is literally me because I had a busy week. So that's it. I'm done. I did 2 things, but I'm very proud of this cross stitch. No! I did something else. One other thing. Last Saturday, after we recorded, Beth came over, and look, I zipped this into the zipper. There's a thread sticking out here. This cross stitch project is called 8 Tiny Reindeer by, I don't know who, Kathy Barrett. And I fell in love with it in Albuquerque at a stitching store, and I bought it. And at some point in my life,
If you're in Albuquerque, that stitching store is called,
what's it called?
Secret Garden?
Something, I can't remember. We were there
It was,
years ago.
it was,
Up on
No.
Montebo?
it was closer to the mountains.
On the east side. And I got all the threads for it. I don't know why the black is on here. Like I didn't have enough, or I don't know. Anyway,
I think that's what you said last week.
I kitted it up. No, that was for the new one. Anyway, and then I remember I had that big piece of white fabric. So Beth came over and we dyed the fabric.
The project isn't that big, just the fabric.
Right. The project is not this big.
That is beautiful.
But so there's one side that's more white. This side has a lot more white modeling than this side, and so I'm probably going to do it on the darker side, like over in this corner maybe. But anyway, I dyed my first piece of fabric. It stinks. Why does it stink? Red dye stinks.
I don't know.
I can't smell anything.
Oh, anyway.
So did you hang it outside to dry?
Yep. Yep. And I gotta cut all those strings off. So I'm proud of that. And when I feel Christmassy, I will start this. And that will be fun. I almost started it last night because I was like, I hadn't done any fiber arts aside from making my costume for Halloween in like 3 days. And so last night, even though it was late, I knew I didn't have to get up super early. I was like, you know what? I'm going to do something. And I almost started this, but I thought, well, I'll finish the other one first. I'll work on it instead. So now I am done. Okay, are you going next, Beth?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm going to knit. I haven't knitted.
So what I'm working on right now is the November rabbit. I had when I started this, I had done like one of these little brown lump things and one rabbit, and I had done all the carrots. But since yesterday was November 1st, I hauled it out and was working on it, and so I've been finishing I did finish one little frond area here, and then I started working on the brown, the earth, and so that's what I'm working on right now. I'm almost finished. This brown lump here will be the end of that. And then I have to do, I thought, oh, this is mostly done. It's like, no, it's not. No, it's not. It's barely done. So, because I have three more rabbits to do and 3 little frond things. And then the rabbits have like, 4 stitches for their tail and their eye, 1 stitch for their eye. And then here in the brown there are all these open things that have like a yellow color in them. So there's a lot of little niddly details. And actually the little the fronds, they're really not exactly hard, but it's a lot of stitching for more than it looks like, But yeah, so anyway, but this is November. So actually today is the 2nd. So maybe I can finish it by the 3rd or thereabouts. So that's and this fabric is sharing a fabric with, I don't know what this is, October or one of the other months, I don't know. So this is 32 count Murano Carré. This is the mustard color they have, I think. And related to that, and this is the pattern. I meant to show this. This is the pattern for November.
Why do you have to finish it by the 3rd?
I don't have to. I just was thinking I might be able to. Oh. And so one thing I did do last week was I was working on the August rabbit. And I finished it. Ta-da! This is the one I had a hard time doing it because those rabbits, there's a lot of them. There are, I guess, 2 on each side, but they're kind of, the way they're sort of leaping, it makes it just more complicated, I guess. And on these patterns, like I said last week, the rabbits, like when you first look at that, you can't even see them. It's just little dots.
Yeah.
So it looks you know.
I can't even see them on the actual picture.
Yeah.
No offense, but
Yeah.
I
Yeah, I think they were all finished on the same color fabric. It's called slate or something like that. It's a very light gray, and so the patterns that have white in them, you can't really see them very well. Like here, the rabbits on here show up a little better. I think the little piece of fabric is a little darker.
yeah.
Shale is called
It
shale.
seems like the
Um,
in the white thread of this picture that it's very thin. Like there's not a lot of like it's.
well,
not,
it's one strand of silk.
Yeah.
These are all done in silk.
Let me see yours. Are they showing up? Oh yeah.
Yeah.
But
It
it's
shows
still a
up-
very confusing picture because
Yeah.
they have part of it is because they have this weird. Is that another color that goes in their belly?
It's just a blank area,
It's weird, like a stripe.
I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, I think if it was solid there, it might. I don't know.
Yeah, yeah, because this rabbit actually shows up pretty well because it's solid. You know, there's but anyway, so I was able to it goes like this to finish. It doesn't matter because it's all the same, but I finished it. Yeah, so like I said, I with the white rabbits, there was one when I worked on it earlier in the year. I had worked on it, and then it was like it was off by a square or something. I miscalculated something, miscounted, and I had to take it out and do it all again. And I think when I was working on it this last time, again there was an area where I was working on it and it wasn't coming out right, and I had to take it all out to come back in. So the rabbits were really hard to see and hard to do, but I finally finished it. Yeah, and there were also a lot of little, one stitch here of this color, one stitch here, so because like all the carrots have like like 3 little stitches of another color, in them to give them a carroty mottled look, whatever. But anyway, so that's August. So I have November, December, and July of these rabbits to do. And then of course all my finishing stuff is, in storage, so wow. Anyway, but that's a finish.
And then I have all 12 done.
If I can finish December and July
I see.
next month, then they'll all be done.
Mm.
And then I worked a little bit on the 31st because it was Halloween. I thought, I'll do something Halloween-y. So I worked just a little bit on, this is the number 5 of the Black Cat season series, called Good Luck. It says, see a black cat, pick it up, all the day you'll have good luck. And I realized when I was working on this, on the side of it, Stephanie Webb, the designer of this from Lindy Stitches, she wrote, take this piece of advice at your own risk. But so, so I did a little bit of it. So it's right here. So I just did the words basically. See a black cat. It's the beginning of the words. Because in between here goes all these little, pictures or whatever. So the next set of words is down below this. Anyway, but I would have gotten a little further if I had started at the beginning of the 31st, but I started rather late because I had decided to go back and work on the barn owl some more. And so I did just a little bit more on the face. I finished the orange that goes around the face, and I started down the side here, and just doing some of the little stripy feathers down here in the owl's body. And I kept telling myself, oh, I should quit because today's the 31st. I don't want to do the black cat thing. But then I was like, well, after I finish this, and I finish this thread, and so yeah. But I made some good progress on the owl. But I realized I mentioned this when I did my update last Saturday. Because I thought, oh yeah, the bald eagle's going to go here, and I was looking at the numbers, and I'm stupid. this is number 8, right? And this is number 7. Number 7 goes here. Number 8 goes here. Because this is number 9.
Oh, you got them out of order.
I got it out of order. I'm like, but you know,
For your
because
whole life.
I
you're
know
gonna
my
look at
whole
that
life
and be
is
like,
ruined.
it's out of order. It's out of order. It's out of order.
Well, and these were this set of 3 was the last set that I had not started yet.
But are they seasonal?
Like kind of not exactly. These 2 are not. These 3 are not. They're all kind of, you know,
Springy summer.
summerish, and going into fall. So,
like
but they're
6,
not
7, 8.
really.
Or it's you said
7,
7, 8,
8,
9.
9,
So
yeah.
that would be July, August, and September.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, they could interchange. It's
Yeah.
all right.
So they're not real, you know, seasonally specific. The only one that really is like the last 3 are Little Brown Bat is number 10.
So October.
And 11 is something like, I think 11 is the bear maybe. And
Hibernating.
number 12 is the reindeer.
Okay.
And that's very wintry, very Christmassy.
So you can
Yeah, so these aren't crucial, but
But
it
the
was just like,
perfectionist in you
but
would
it
be
was just
upset.
like, man, I was doing so well.
You are still doing well.
But so I think I am going to do this in place of the Sleepy Hollow chart that is packed away, and do it as a main thing, and so it'll get 7 days. I think maybe I'll do that. But anyway, so that's so that's some more progress I did on the barn owl. And and then also I started on
You
my
could just pick it all out and move it.
Yeah.
yeah, I'll just redo the whole thing.
Redo the whole owl. I mean, come on.
Not gonna happen. So I started on my Jingle Ball, one of my Jingle Ball patterns, up on the rooftop stockings. This is by Stephanie Webb of Lindy Stitches. Oh, and this thing, most people already know, but it's from the Cottage Garden Samplings Year in the Woods series. By Cottage Garden Samplings. This is by Stephanie Webb of Lindy Stitches. Golly.
Lindy Webb of Stephanie Stitches.
Yeah. So this is one of the Jingle Ball classes patterns up in the rooftop stocking. So there are 3 little mini stockings. They're about this big. That you make into little miniature stockings. And so I started on them, and I started this on the bottom left-hand corner because of the shape of the stockings. And I started with this one, which is the little cardinals, which is here. And on the actual chart that they're on, it's the furthest one, the 3rd one. But I started here because I had the threads. The other ones I was missing the threads that I needed to start with. Like I thought, oh, I could start on the one with the little house, because I have these blues, but then I had nothing. You know, the rest of the roof, I didn't have those. These were the colors I was missing that I couldn't find. And so I thought, well, I can't. You know, if I start on that, that's all I can do, and then I won't be able to do any more. You know, I might have had the Santa Claus colors, I guess, and but I would have had to do like a lot of counting to get there. But I did have the cardinals, so I at least the cardinal, and I had this beginning of this Christmas tree. So the cardinal is almost finished. It's just lacking one little white stitch for his eye.
When does that happen?
The first weekend of December. Yeah. So if I can at least finish one stocking, it'll be enough to do the class. So, excuse me. So I'm gonna try to finish this stocking. And I thought about also in place of the Sleepy Hollow chart that I have of doing my jingle ball stitching. So I don't know. We'll see how that goes. It just depends on how much of this I get done when. So, but anyway, so this is the fabric, the Belfast linen that I had chose for these stockings, and I think the colors so far are looking really good on this. So
Oh, it's nice.
yeah, so I think
It's really pretty.
it'll work.
It'll be
really
kind
well.
of a really old-fashioned looking,
Mhm.
like stockings.
Yeah. So I have not started on the other Jingle Ball project, the Festive Forest by Janine McGowan of the Blue Flower, because I was looking at it going, okay, well maybe I could, because my Roxy Floss order hasn't come yet, although I haven't checked the mailbox lately in the last few days, so it might be over there. But it's coming from Canada, so I don't know how long that takes. I think it shipped on the 22nd of October. So like I don't think I've ever ordered, it's been a long time since I've ordered from it's Evertote carries the Roxy Floss, and it's like a long time ago. I had ordered a project bag from Evertote. But, you know, it's just a long time ago. I don't even remember how long it took. Anyway, but so I had looked at my Festive Forest pattern because I thought, you know, because there's some DMC colors, some Roxy Floss, and some other stuff. So a Week Star Works and Cottage Garden Threads. Anyway, so I thought, well, I've got all the DMC stuff, so you know, maybe I can just start on the DMC colors. And when I went over to when Naomi was dyeing the fabric for her project, I went ahead and dyed some fabric from the Festive Forest, right? So I thought, oh, yeah. So I was looking at it and looking at the pattern, because on that pattern you really have to start on the bottom left, or on the left side at least, because of the way it's designed, because of the little points. And so you either have to start on the extreme left corner or the extreme right corner. I guess you could theoretically start in the middle. But anyway, so I was looking at it. And I thought, you know, okay, I'll do that. And but they're all the corner threads.
Corners are all the threads you
Are
don't
all
have.
the ones I don't have yet. So I couldn't start on that one. But when I was at so I had to get a few DMC threads for this because I couldn't find them there. I don't know if they're in some project or whatever. But so we went to Hobby Lobby, and so I picked up those threads, and I thought, well, you know, I didn't want to use my card for like 3 threads. So, but actually when I was putting together my Jingle Ball things, I also, when I packed all my stuff away, I packed away all my extra empty project bags, because I've been using those the little Amazon zippy, you know,
Like
plastic. Yeah. And so I have, you know, a thing of empty ones, you know, but everything they're packed away in storage, of course. So, so one thing I did was I grabbed this little tote bag that Naomi had brought me from Boston. So this has, I did cannibalize one project bag.
Oh, from Trident Cafe?
Yeah.
I love that place.
One that I had finished something, so I took the project out of it and grabbed this bag. So my patterns and stuff are in there, but I also bought these at Hobby Lobby. I think I've showed one before. I have like a blue one, a dark blue one or something, but they had,
I was at Hobby Lobby and I didn't see anything like this. This is nice.
they had like some, like I guess needle cases or something like that, you know, for stitching or for knitting or crocheting or something. But so they had these little corduroy bags. These are cool. So I bought these for my threads. And then I also bought, they had in their little fabric bundles, they had this holiday homespun fat quarter bundle. So there's 5 pieces. So there's 2 shades of red. There's a dark maroonish red and a bright red, and then 2 shades of green and this white. So, because I thought maybe I could use this to finish the back of the stockings, the up on the rooftop stockings. But I might use something more, because I have actually several Christmas fabrics in my fabric thing, which is in the storage unit. I have a bunch of little fun Christmas fabrics that I that I bought over the years, and I thought, well, maybe I'll use those someday. And and this would be a perfect occasion to use them, but of course, I don't have any. So anyway, so I thought maybe I'll use these, but if not,
That's nice.
but if
Those will
not,
last
it's nice to
forever.
have, Christmas fabric, for various things. So I think that is me.
Okay, so my WIP-GO, I also did not work on very much this week. It seems to be a theme. No, she worked on a lot.
I worked a little bit on a lot of things.
I'm sorry, I know I'm talking to the camera, but you're too short.
Wait, excuse me, let me get all my junk out there. Sorry. Okay. Oh, crap.
Intermission.
Somewhere underneath here.
Oh my gosh. We
Okay.
need the centerpiece back. You're a mess. To cover you up. Okay. Sorry, Eve.
I don't understand how her stuff can be so neatly stacked when she starts,
Because she.
and it's a big old pile of mess when she's done. Okay, doesn't matter. Okay. My second WIP-GO project for October was Joyful Snowman. It's a dimensions kit by Barb Tortilla. I have no idea. I'm sorry, I butchered the name. Okay, so
But her name is Barb, not Bob, right?
I said Barb
Barb.
second. Mi nombre
I don't
es
care.
Bob.
Mi nombre es Bob.
Sorry, that's from a very, very old sitcom. Okay, so this is how far I have gotten. I started putting in the snow on the bottom. I was gonna just outline it to just start filling in, right? And then I got distracted by something, I don't remember what, and I said, you know what, I don't want to work on that. I wanted to work on this. This is Tiny Modernist gingerbread house, and it's for the Jingle Ball class that I am taking. And I was just having so much fun. And I finished the white before last time's video. And when I was going to stitch in the inner part of the windows, which you can see in a minute, this brown inner part of the windows, I went, that is not in the right place.
Oh, no.
Fortunately, it made more thread rather than less, so it was easily fixed, but I had the side of the window, one stitch too far this way. So this is my progress.
It's so cute.
Very nice. At the front of the house.
Yeah.
It's so cute. No wonder you're like, I'm gonna do this instead.
I was having so much fun. Now,
Let me see the pattern,
some of the threads are somewhere in
Various
my
parts.
stuff.
Oh,
And
wow.
I kind of sort of know where. And I just said, I'm going to start with the ones I have in my hand. So,
I love those these little gumdrops.
Yeah, I'm starting on the gumdrops up here.
So cute.
So I'm really enjoying working on this. So part of me is like, oh, man, I have to put this down and do
I
my
see.
turtles.
That's nice that they're two shades, sorry.
There's more than,
Yeah,
it's,
I hadn't really looked at it, I just assumed they were solid, but yeah, that's nice.
no.
It gives them some dimension. So cute.
But
Oh my
I'm gonna
goodness.
have to stick real gumdrops to the little top here. Or peppermint candies. Anyway, I didn't want to stop working on this, but it was Friday and it was a new month. So I was like, ugh. I gotta work on my temperature turtles because I had to finish
October.
October's turtle and then start enough of a new turtle that I could put the first day on it. And let me tell you, the weather here has been wild.
Crazy.
Again, we live in a desert, so the nights are much cooler than daytime temperatures. But right now, the daytime temperatures run about 80 or so on some days, sometimes not so much. Here's October.
Oh, wow.
Look how many different colors.
That's pretty. It looks like a fall.
It looks like a leaf.
Yeah.
Right now, I'm wearing shorts,
I came over and
but I'm
saw it.
freezing.
It's outside. It's cold.
Yeah. But Wednesday, I had been so cold that I wore long pants to go teach. It was miserable because it was so much warmer by the
Yep.
time I left the house to go do that.
Yep.
So, and I'm not saying my house was cold because of air conditioning. No, you know, it's not coming on or anything. It's just,
The ambient temperature.
yeah.
Yeah.
But I was
My
gonna
house is cold. The air is
Yeah.
off. but
Yeah, I
but-
turned my fan off the other night.
The men in
because
my home
I
are
was-
always hot.
I was lying in my bed and the fan was on, and I was stitching, and I'm like, I'm really cold.
Yeah.
And I got under the blanket, and I'm like, I'm still really cold. And Snug, he's always under the blanket now, and
He's miserable.
And so I thought, it's just really cold. So I was like, I don't have to have the fan on. I could turn it off.
So on the 29th, it was 73, and that was the coldest day this past week.
Wow.
But
No wonder
yesterday
I'm freezing.
was 81.
Yeah.
Last week, Saturday, 97.
Oh,
Yeah.
gross.
So it's been an interesting
Up and down.
up and down of,
Yeah, it's just a hard time till we settle in.
and this in Phoenix is the time of year that if you have a young child, they will lose their jacket.
Yes. 'Cause it's
They
hot.
will-
It's cold in the morning.
It's freezing in the morning. You don't want them going out the door without a jacket. But by the time the end of the day rolls around,
Well,
it's out on the playground somewhere.
not even that. 10 minutes. We walked out of the house and I needed a sweater. Eli went back and got like a flannel shirt to wear over. We stopped at McDonald's, of course, and by the time we get out here, because your street kind of bakes a little, I got out of the car and I'm like, I'm hot already. It's 10 minutes.
And in one of my classes, this young man, I looked over at him. That was the one that I wore the long pants to. I looked over at him and I'm like, he was zipped up to here with his jacket on. And I'm like, how can you wear that?
My mother told me to.
My mother told me not to lose my jacket.
Well, we had on Tuesday we had an orchestra rehearsal, and it's always freezing in that room. Like the week before, when we were sitting during break or something, and I had my horn there, and I picked it up, and it was frozen.
Yeah,
the keys are
icy
freezing, and everything. And so when I walked out to go to rehearsal, Naomi came to pick me up, and the wind it was kind of breezy, and the wind was blowing. I thought, gosh, it's kind of cold out here. So I went back in, grabbed my sweater that I borrowed from Eve because all my winter things are put away. So And so I went out, I felt good in the car, and then we walked into the rehearsal room, and it was roasting in
Roasting
there.
hot. I was so hot. I'm like taking my sweater off and
I
dying.
don't understand.
Drinking all my water.
They probably turned on the heat.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
So my first WIP-GO project for December is Winter Reindeer by Dirty Annie's Southern Style.
So cute.
And as much as I love the gingerbread house, I will be working on this because
It's adorable.
I don't remember when I got it. It wasn't that long ago. And
Yeah.
it wasn't on the WIP-GO at all.
And you put it on?
And so, no, so I put it on for this year. So I obviously had it more than a year, but, I might have gotten it the Christmas season year before. I don't know. I don't remember. I absolutely, I'm looking at the pattern, and every time I look over at the pattern, I go, oh, those feet are so cute.
And I hadn't realized they were wearing I don't know if they're little red socks, or they look like, and they're red anyway, but I'm like, they're so cute, the little teeny feet.
Teeny weeny little feet. Anyway, I am not that far on it, and you're not going to be able to see from that far away, but I've got basically half a reindeer, and I've got his little, he has I guess there's snowflakes around his neck.
Yeah, like a little snowflake
Collar. Yeah.
So cute.
And there's snowflakes all around, which kind of blend into my fabric, but they do on the pattern as well. On the pattern, the fabric is barely lighter than the snowflakes, so I mean darker than the snowflakes. So it's kind of evenish. This is done on a kind of grayish fabric, and I chose a blue. The fabric I'm doing it on is 14 count blue by Fabric Footer. Model stitched on 32 count linen, so mine is going to be bigger than theirs. 32 count linen from Mystic Fabrics and Silver Mist. So that's why it's gray. I just don't understand. Their little horns look like trees.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, that is what I'm working on right now.
I like your fabric really well for that, because the snowflakes are still light, but they show up a little better.
Yeah. Well, even they're I just don't picture them in a gray background.
Mm-hmm.
That's nothing against her pattern. It's or her choices. It's just my aesthetic.
Good, that's just like these birds. I mean, this Hawthorne Hollow was all done in beige, but I really like the idea of like a blue sky behind it.
I think for the most part, all of them are.
Yeah, the whole thing is beige.
No.
Oh.
I mean, there's more patterns by them that
all
look
the
like that.
hollow things.
Yeah, so I am excited about working on this. I don't think I'm going to be doing WIP-GO next year. I think I'm going to maybe do something else. WIP-GO has been really good for
What
me.
is that acronym?
Oh.
But stitch what you want when you want, or whatever.
Yeah, that's what I was doing before I started.
Sweetie, I guess that's what it's called.
That's what I was doing before I started WIP-GO. No, I'm going to
Yeah.
write down stuff.
She's gonna make her own chart,
Yeah.
her own plan, I guess you could say.
So even if I still had 24 charts, the goals for them would not necessarily be in a particular month, but like, let's say I put this on it. The goal would be to finish it, however long that took.
Yeah.
And then I would pick up,
You can
let's say
have like a,
this one and
Yeah.
finish it.
you can have like a Yeah, like a priority list of like what you want to get finished first.
Yeah, but not necessarily arranged in seasons. I can pick the one I want to for whenever it is I'm working on it. And I think
Not having the project dictated to you by
a random
Yeah,
drawing, right? And WIP-GO's been really good for me in getting me to pull out projects I might not necessarily pull out, which is why I want to write it down and not just do it, you know.
Yeah.
Also on that, I am going to write down, I have a lot of patterns that I've purchased
That you want to start.
that I need to at least put in one thread. Because if not, why do I have it?
Right.
You know, I look at my project bags, my collection of fabrics going, that is a lot of money sitting there doing nothing. Because I would much rather see them on a wall or in a pillow or, you know,
Right.
than sitting in my project bag.
Right.
Because I'm too distracted by shiny things and starting something new. I love those patterns, that's why I bought them, right? And the same thing goes with my fabrics and the quilts that I started.
Yeah.
You know, why am I starting getting all the stuff and everything to start a quilt and not even getting it to the stage where I can actually put it together?
Yeah.
Just, you know. So I'm going to try to be a little more strict with myself about not grabbing a whole bunch of new stuff, finishing what I have.
Nice.
And I know that there's a lot of people that they decide that when they finish something, they're allowed to start something new. But I'm going to tell myself, these are the projects I'm going to start on this year. And that's not saying I can't start on something else, but these are the projects I'm going to start on, and not necessarily give them a month, but try to do 2 new starts, 1 new start, whatever it be, and get that project going. Because if it's not going, it's too easy to
Forget about it.
And you don't want to hoard them for no reason.
Right. Fabrics and threads, that's fine hoarding because you might need it for a pattern. But no, I'm kidding. You know, a lot of times you get a new project and you're like, I think I have a fabric that's perfect for that. So, excuse me. Anyway.
And actually, are you done? Is that you?
Yeah.
I was gonna say, along those lines, it's a little bit related to
Our question of the
week.
Last week. Okay, so time for question of the week. What we asked last week was how many projects everybody has, and
Or how many are you working on?
how many you're working on at the
Yeah.
same time, or what. And we had a variety of answers. I meant to look them up before we started.
I read them every time. I read them right
Yeah,
away.
I read.
but-
Yeah, no, I read them
but-
last night. I'm saying I read them last
Yeah.
night, but I meant to pull them up here today.
So if you've got an indication that your comment was read, it was probably me right away. But that's not to say the rest of us don't read it.
No,
It's just, yeah.
Oops.
So yeah. Oop. Don't listen to me. Turn my
Stitch
phone
in the wrong place.
yeah, so one person has close to 35 whips and working on 2 or 3 at a time. She says I'll work for a week or more on one project, but most of the time I'm switching out every few days, or we'll even switch back and forth on 2 or 3 a day. So, and she says she hasn't done WIP-GO yet, but has a lot of quilts going, and so she does a lot more in the summer. And then, when she says, I have yet to fully complete any crochet project. Oh, yeah, crochet.
Oh, I worked on my crochet kitty, but I didn't bring it over here because it just looked like a little,
It's just a circle.
it's just a circle.
Circle something. And then Rachel says she has 3 projects in rotation. The first person was Chris T3023. And then Rachel says she's got 3 projects in rotation. And then Chris Cook says, I work on 2 cross stitch patterns at a time, a large one and a small one. That's a good idea.
Mm-hmm.
But have like 20 kitted up to go. I have 5 quilt projects going and no to crochet. I usually have 1 crochet project at a time. And then Beth Brownie says, I have 3 projects that I'm doing. That's about all I can handle. Smart girl. Smart girl. But, yeah, so then the question of the week this week is, since we just switched over to November, we're wondering, do you change your projects to go with the seasons? Like, is it now, like, did you do Halloween stitching in October and then now you're going to switch to maybe Thanksgiving, or already looking to Christmas and, Valentine's in February? Like, do you switch seasonally, or is that just kind of passing you by? Or like for me, if I do cross stitch specifically, because cross stitch you're making like a picture of something, right? And whatever that picture is evokes whatever it might, right? So I gravitate toward Christmas ones because I really like the Santa one. I really like Santa's. What's going on?
The crunching you hear is the dog eating her bagel.
That's why I was like, what is that
I bought
sound?
bagels yesterday and have been giving her her bagel,
Her dog
Her
bagel?
little dog
her dog
bagel.
bagel, and she's carrying it around like a chewy toy, and I guess she decided to finally eat it.
Yeah, I was like, what is she doing?
Well, when we had Quilter one day, I went to Einstein's, and they didn't have any dog bagels. And she knew when she saw the box, she'd be like, I was like, they don't have any
Where's
today.
my bagel?
Anyway, so that's the question of the week. Do you
Yes.
change what you're working on to, because like I want to work, like I said, like when it's Christmassy, even if I don't finish it for Christmas, I want to be working on something Christmassy. So do you kind of go with the seasons, or do you just plow through? So that's a question of the week. Please respond and answer. We love your answers, and we love the engagement. It's really fun.
Yeah, like I've been trying to do since I when I first got the rabbits, I think I did one on like the first of the month, did the appropriate month. But of course I was doing other things, so I didn't finish any of them that way necessarily. And so this year I've been trying to consciously think of working on
That month's.
that month's
Yeah.
rabbit. And except for, I think I worked on the July one. I think I worked on it in July, but I didn't, finish it because I was doing cross stitch camp and things like that.
Oh yeah,
So-
that's the other thing. So if you don't do seasonally, do you have something like WIP-GO or cross stitch camp or some other like stitch-a-long or knit-along that you use to kind of guide what you're working on?
Yeah.
I haven't done a knit-along in probably a year or two. Sometimes I want to, but like I was saying last week, like I'm so buried with projects, and I feel guilt if I start something. So I don't want to feel that way.
Well, WIP-GO has been, because I tried doing, I've done the little decision wheel things. And I had put a bunch on there, and then I just I guess, did some thing where, where I was spinning and doing the project that way. But that, I don't know, for some reason that didn't really catch on to me. But when
I think electronic spinner wheels are liars, and I don't think they're random.
They're always stuck on the same thing.
Like the phone, if you're doing it on your phone. If you had an actual wheel,
Yeah. But and I had, people had been doing WIP-GO for a while, and, I'd been hearing a lot about it, but I hadn't really looked into it. And then when I finally did about, I think 4 years ago or something, I don't remember when I started, I found it really motivating because, like Eve was talking about, I have, you know, projects that are sitting in project bags or whatever, and I had just not gotten around to them. And I had, when I started, I guess the first time that I did it was when I was doing, oh no, the second time maybe, when I did like, I had like 3 things on each square. So I had the main square, the main project that I was working on, but then I also had a new start for every month, and I also had an FFO project because I had a stack of
She wouldn't
finished-
finish her project.
yeah, I had a stack of finished stitchings, you know, where I had finished stitching, but I had never fully finished the project. Partly because it's difficult for me, the aspect of, you know, choosing either a frame or a wooden thing or make it a pillow or whatever, deciding on how I'm going to finish it, and then like because to me that's like one difference between Eve and I is like when she looks at the project, she can imagine, oh, I know how I'm going to finish it, and then when she finishes stitching it, she's like, oh, I'm gonna, you know, stick it to this, and I'm gonna put this and that and the other, and trim
they're
it like
always
this and like
gorgeous.
When
Yeah.
when I start a project,
You envision it?
almost always, I buy whatever I'm going to finish it right away. Not all the time.
You have that creative eye.
Yeah.
You really do.
and that's really difficult for
I'll
me.
be walking by the dollar spot in Target and go, that's perfect for my such and such pattern.
Yeah.
That hasn't been true for like this one.
Yeah.
Because I think I want to frame this one.
Yeah.
Ordinarily, I don't. But I can just see this being out at Christmas on the wall. And most stuff, I don't want that, you know. Most stuff, I would rather make it into something, not just a...
Speaking of that,
What?
you finished a cross stitch for me 2 years ago.
Oh, the little Santa. I mean, the big Santa thing.
3 years ago. I don't know how. And then you bought a frame, and I was like, okay. And I have it at my house, and like I have not done it, so I need your help.
It's not a frame. It's a wooden flat thing, like with a hanger.
With the
thing.
hanger. Yeah. But I'm just saying, like,
Well, I'll help you finish it before Christmas.
okay, it's really cute. It's in Hannah's room, kind of propped. But I'm
Yeah.
like, I need to get that on the wall. You're right.
So,
But I was gonna say that the WIP-GO board really helped because it said, you know, it told me you have to, you know, to finish this square, you have to FFO this project.
that
And
was
so
good
I
for
had
you,
to-
I think, because you got a lot of
Yeah,
things.
yeah. I did basically. I think every square. Maybe there was one I didn't finish the stitching on or whatever. But it also gave me a chance to like, oh well, I'm doing these. I might as well do this as well, you know.
Yeah.
And so I FFO'd a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
So
that's
so it can be very helpful in motivating you to do stuff that you would just put off and, you know,
For
like
me,
you're under
WIP-
the bed box as they say.
WIP-GO did not work. I tried it and I was like, no. But it did actually, the one thing it did do was it made me look at a project and go, I am never going to finish this.
Yeah.
But,
well,
so
I started it after, I started WIP-GO after watching somebody who explained extensively, not the person who came up with it, but who explained extensively what it was. And because she was doing it all the time. And I was like, I think I need that.
Mm-hmm.
And so when I decided that, then I went to go look and you know, to all the instruction videos and all that stuff. But it's something that I would have been this year finding frustrating because my Halloween stuff would get called Easter and, you know,
yeah.
so.
Hey Eve, so here's a question. Have you decided if you're going to make your own temperature chart for next year?
I have, but I don't want to talk about it right now.
Okay. I'm very interested in what I do. So.
Because I'm not positive I can finish the design, you know.
Yeah. But that would be cool.
I have a story.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
I have a doctor who wants to do an MRI of my neck because of some symptoms I'm experiencing that he cannot figure out what's causing. Okay. And different doctors had tried to get this and it was just never approved and finally approved, right? And so I got an appointment and went to, now he gave me a month to get this done, mind you. I got the appointment and went to go do it, and I don't know if, because every time you do an MRI, they have different apparatus that they have to put on you in order to do it, to hold your body in a certain way or whatever. I don't know if it was that or what, but when he would try to take me into the tube, it was hitting my shoulders. I'm not talking about I was too fat to fit in the thing, you know, like my belly. No,
Yeah.
my shoulders were hitting the wall. And I was like, stop, stop, stop. And we tried to adjust something and he tried it again. And no. He goes, we're going to just have to get you into a wide bore MRI. And I'm like, fine. And those kinds of things are very embarrassing. But I was like, all right, I got to get this done. So the lady at the desk was rescheduling, and at that time I said, I had an MRI at this location, you know, and because I was comfortable at this other location, and it wasn't close, it was far away, but and she goes, I have to just see what's available. Okay. So, and by the way, I saw a video of somebody who was complaining about this particular company as well. Anyway, overall, the company isn't horrible. Okay, so don't get me wrong. Okay, it is, if you need an x-ray. But I was supposed to have an x-ray and that MRI today, and they actually scheduled the x-ray because of the MRI going with it. I was like, well, that's new. So I got the x-ray, but they rescheduled the MRI. And it was scheduled for an evening at 6:30 at a location near a hospital, not super close to me, but relatively close. And
On a Saturday, right?
yeah,
It's weird.
on a Saturday night, 6:30, across town. And I'm like, okay, it's not the location I mentioned to her, but whatever. So I get a phone call at 6-ish, and he says, I just wanted to let you know we're running about an hour behind. And then he sounded really weird. He goes, well, maybe you can show up at 6:30. I'm like, so I can wait for an hour? Okay. I'll just go at 6:30. All right. I arrived there at 6:32. There's a reason I remember what time it was. I pull up to the door, and there's a sign on a very dark building that says, MRI machine broken. Go to Dobson 1. Now, these two locations are literally across the parking lot from each other. Okay? I am in a deserted parking lot at 6:30 at night on a Saturday night. And it wasn't a horrible part of town, but it wasn't something I wanted to be walking around by myself at night,
Yeah.
you know. So I drive across the parking lot to the other location. And again, there are no cars anywhere. The employees could not possibly park behind. There's a busy road behind it, okay? They would have to be parked in the parking lot, and there is not a single car anywhere in the parking lot for this company who was running an hour behind.
It's weird.
So I pull up, And I go to the door, again, it is locked. There is nobody inside. Had to get out of my car, walk a little bit of a distance from my car to go find that out. So I walked back to my car and I thought maybe I'm at the wrong location. And I tried to call the number that they had called me on. I'm sorry, our offices are closed.
My gosh.
So I checked the text that they send you about 10 texts to tell you, to come to your appointment. I checked the text, and I was at the right place,
Mm-hmm.
I wasn't going to sit around in a deserted parking lot on the off chance that they were lying to me, which is what I think happened, that these guys over at this location ended up at that location, and that location closes at 6, okay? And they ended up over here, and the guy's like, yeah, you're going home, okay? And they talk together, and they go, hey, man, let's go eat something.
Yeah, let's get out of here.
Because there's restaurants around there because the hospital is there,
Yeah.
right? And he goes, yeah, but I have somebody at 6. Let me call her so she'll know why I'm late. And then there's nobody there.
Yeah, that's
And
weird. Did you
because that's
call
the
next
only,
day?
what?
Did you call the next
The
day?
next day was Sunday,
Oh,
so
I
no.
mean, on
I
Monday.
called on Monday.
Yeah.
Aunt Robert said it was very rude to the person on the phone, but that's because I kept trying to, because she just wanted to schedule me. She did not want to listen to me
Mm-hmm.
about, they need to know
What
what
happened?
happened. Because people can't do that to
Yeah.
people. I had an appointment, and I don't care if you want to go to dinner with somebody.
Yeah.
Or whatever it was.
happened. Yeah.
If you ran to the bathroom, I
Or
don't
even
care.
but if he called you, then they knew you were coming, and someone should have been there to say, something.
But there wasn't any cars in the parking lot, so I don't believe for a second he was there.
That's weird.
Okay? If he was there, where did he park? Did he walk?
Yeah.
And why didn't he answer the door?
There
Why
was,
wasn't there anybody
there
in
was
front?
nobody inside. There was nobody inside, and it was locked.
Yeah.
The other location that I had mentioned, I had an appointment on a Saturday at around the same time, and I parked. There was more
Before?
than one car.
Yeah.
Yeah, way before. There was more than one car.
Yeah.
I parked.
It looked like the place.
There was lights inside. I
Yeah,
opened the
yeah.
door. There they are. Right?
Wow. So she didn't care.
I think that one that you went to, that just now that you were talking about that was close. I think that's where I went from when I did my hand, when I had my hand.
Was it across from?
Yeah, because-
was it on
Because I had to go to, there were 2 locations.
Was it on Southern?
I don't remember, but I think it was near the hospital, like you were talking about.
There was 2 different hospitals. The other one I'm talking about is near a hospital, and the one where there was nobody is near a hospital.
Yeah, but the one I was
I think
thinking of is
that's where they put their large bore MRIs.
that I was going to go in to do an MRI of my hand, but because of my shunt, they had to do an X-ray again.
Yeah.
And so I had to go to the other location to get it across the parking lot to get an X-ray.
That's the first
And then-
one I talked
yeah.
about.
And so it was there. It was like. And it was like at the end of the day, and I had to sit there and wait for them to do the X-ray, and then had to go back to do my hand to the other location to do my hand.
So
Eve,
now
did
they
it ever
rescheduled
resolve?
it. No, well, they rescheduled it. I think that the woman just was not taking that complaint.
Yeah.
And I didn't mind her rescheduling it back at the same place, but I said,
Middle of the day.
it needs to be during the day.
Yeah.
And so she goes, okay, so I can have you at the Dobson location at 7 o'clock at night. And I'm like, I just
What
told
part
you
of during the day do you not understand?
And then when she finished telling me the one that I'm going to go to during the day, I was like, that's Dobson 1. Are we talking? Because I wanted to know to go to the right place.
Yeah.
Right? And she yelled at me, do you want it at this one or not? I'm like,
Wow.
okay, okay, I just wanted to confirm which location. And so apparently it's scheduled at Dobson 1.
You know,
But-
I know exactly what you're talking about, and similar, the same company, they're like everywhere. But I remember sitting in there with Dad waiting for something, and people come in, like, that's the wrong place. And people come in, that's the wrong place. Because they're not clear.
Mm-hmm.
They're not. And so now it's this week, right?
Yeah.
So is my appointment with the doctor. There is no way that he will get the results in time.
Yeah, well, he might.
So I'm going to reschedule the one with the doctor. It's easier for me to reschedule that and give him a few more days to get the results, because I also have a new class. So yeah, but I was so frustrated with, look, I don't care where you schedule me. If it has the right kind of MRI machine, I don't care. At this point, I'll drive across town. I don't care. I just want to know where you're sending me. Okay? That's all I want. And I want somebody to be there. So it needs to be in the middle of the day. Because this scheduling people late at night, when the guy's there all by himself and he decides he wants to go somewhere, A, unprofessional. B, your boss is paying you to be sitting there waiting for me to come.
That's weird. That's very strange.
I was gonna say, you know,
But it's also dangerous.
the weird thing I had happen with them, with this same company, is that I got a thing from my insurance company that said that, you know, we're denying these claims, right? So I thought, what are they denying? And and so I'm looking at it, and it says something like pre-authorization is required or something, and I was like, well, it was from the same place, my MRIs, right? And so from my head that I do when I go to do them, it's an annual thing, and I've never had a problem before. And I do an X-ray before, and then the MRI, and the X-ray after. So there's basically three services, I guess. And so, and this bill was for 3 services, and so I didn't think about it, and it was for the same thing, the beginning of September, right? And so I thought, well, wait, what the heck is this for? You know, why would they deny it? And it said no pre-authorization required or whatever. And so like, well, the doctor sent me there, so why would it? And the doctor didn't actually, call me. They just sent me like an email saying, oh, it's time for your blah blah blah. And I think that the company had sent me, oh, here your doctor scheduled this or whatever. And so I thought, well, why would they want a pre-authorization when it was already scheduled? It was scheduled automatically or whatever. And so I called the insurance company, and I said, it's saying that these claims are denied, and so I was trying to find out, what had happened. And so then as I was talking to the guy, and I was, giving him more information or whatever, and I looked at it more closely, and I thought, wait a minute, this says an X-ray of the chest, an X-ray of the abdomen, and I'm like, I didn't do any of these things. These are not mine.
Oh my God.
And so he was having to, put it in his thing, whatever. And so
It's your fault for having such a common name.
I know. So I said it could be that my name that they mixed up my name, but I said the dates are right.
Yeah.
But it wasn't me. And so then the other day I was looking at my insurance website for something else. I was looking at, and I thought, I'm gonna look at those things. And so it had the different claims on there, and there were some names that I didn't recognize. And I thought, oh well, this is probably from the MRI or whatever. And so I looked at them, and there's 2 different ones. They're for the same date, and 2 different people, right? Mm-hmm. So one of them is that set of 3 X-rays.
Yeah.
So like one of them is the technician's name is Max something, and the other guy's name is something else.
Yeah.
And so one of them, you know, and that's so that they submitted the
Bill.
facility submitted the claim, both claims to the same to my insurance company.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so I need to
Untangle that.
call them again and say these are not mine.
Yeah.
These are mine. Because
Jeez.
otherwise the insurance company, you know, has to deal with trying to, you know, do we pay these
Because
out?
then
or
the
do we
other
not
guy
pay that?
doesn't have, it doesn't get
Right. Doesn't
charged.
get, yeah.
So I've been trying to get a prescription filled for over a month. And the insurance company says the doctor needs to do a pre-authorization, and the doctor says the pharmacy that they have the pre-authorization, that the pharmacy is the problem. The pharmacy is saying the doctor is the problem, they need to call the insurance company. And so I went to I talked with the doctor about it, and it's like, I don't understand what the problem is, and I took a picture of the thing that the pharmacy said, and he said, we'll get to the bottom of this, and I went to the pharmacy to say, I need to understand completely what is going on, because my insurance company is telling me one thing and you're telling me the other thing, and the doctor's office is getting it yet another. And so then I got a call from the outside agency who does the prescriptions, right, to talk about the pre-authorization. And she wanted something, I don't remember what, and I said, look, you need to talk to my doctor because I have no idea.
Yeah.
Because she's like, well, he could prescribe this or that and the other thing. I'm like, my doctor knows about all those drugs, and this is the one that he wants me on. And if you want him to okay one of those other drugs, then you need to ask him, because I don't know what they are.
Yeah, well, usually there's a schedule, right, that of meds that insurances cover, and they...
Well, yeah, but the one we're talking about, and the home health nurse that came here, she goes, yeah, I see that. And she goes, I prescribe that all the time. I don't know why. She said, every insurance company should cover it. I don't understand what's going on. And I said, I don't either, but, meanwhile, it's been over a month since I've been able to get this drug. And fortunately, it's not like my asthma medication that I was out of for so long, for the same reason. So yeah, I'm not real happy with the medical industry right now, in the insurance industry. We have been on the phone a really long time.
On the phone?
On the phone? No, but I have to talk about... I have stories.
Yeah.
So, Thursday was Halloween, and you saw my giant basket.
Oh, yeah.
This was part of my Halloween costume prop. Here's a picture of me in my full costume. I was me circa 2040. Mark determined I would be 73 at that point, so there you go. Anyway, so I took this with me to work. And these are all actually real knitting needles. These belong to my mother-in-law. And I inherited them from her. Giant. She would use these bigger needles actually with smaller yarn and make like a very lacy fabric. It was really cool. So here's another pair of giant. People couldn't believe these were real knitting needles.
You could keep these by your front door and use them to
so
defend
these are all
yourself.
her very real
look like
needles.
stakes
It's like
for
a
vampires.
size 10 needle. So I thought, because they were so oversized, they looked really great in the basket. And I only got one vote. Everyone, when I walked in, they're like, oh, you win. But then only one person voted for me. There's a whole story there. I can't share it. But anyway, no, the funniest part of the day was when someone said, oh, I love that you put all your yarn in this basket. I was like, This is not all my yarn. This is just the yarn I don't like. I mean, I like it. It's all acrylic, but it's just funny because I was like, funny that you think that this is all my yarn, but okay. And actually, to be truthful, there's a layer of like grocery bags underneath so to build it up, so I wouldn't have to actually put all my yarn. But that was part of my costume. I to tell you, the other day, I don't know what prompted it. Oh, okay. This is gross. I don't know if anybody has watched those like YouTube videos or whatever, shorts, where they like have a kitten, like a wild kitten or a squirrel or something, and they have a botfly larva in them, and it makes like this giant, pocket.
Yes,
and
you're grossing me out.
They reach in and they pull it out, right? And they pull them out, and I don't even know what an actual adult botfly looks like, but anyway, the larvae they're huge. They're like the size of an almond, but they're round and they're big and they're nasty. And I guess the fly bites you. I guess people can get it too in certain countries and stuff, but the fly bites you and puts their larvae in there, and then it just grows under your skin. Anyway, I had recently watched one of those with a squirrel, and the squirrel had like 2 or 3, and I guess that's what prompted me, but I had this dream that it was a 2-part dream. Part A was, I was like, what is on my arm? And it wasn't insects, but it was like plants. It was like these big, like blueberry sized things all stuck in my arm with leaves. And I had to pull them out. And it didn't hurt to pull them out, but it left those pockets of skin like the botfly. I was like, oh gosh, how'd this happen? And some of them were kind of, those.
Okay, now you're going to give me nightmares.
I know, those certain weeds that have like they're fuzzy. I had some of those too, and in my fingers, I'm like, oh gosh, how did I get all these? So that was part 1. It was very gross. But I mean, it was like all lumpy and leaves sticking out my arm. And I'm like, how did this happen? I got infected somehow. So that was part 1. And then part 2 was, this happened last weekend. And I desperately needed to do laundry. Like I was, like what is it in Madam Secretary? I'm down to my sad underwear. I desperately needed to do laundry. And so the dream I had was that for some reason the washer and dryer were in the corner of my bedroom where my desk is. But these men were coming and they were taking the washer and dryer out. They were like, like hauled away. And so I was like, oh, I need to do laundry. Oh, okay. Well, I guess. So I said, hey, Mark, when are the new washer and dryers coming? I mean, when's the new washer and dryer coming? Because I figured they're getting hauled out. The new ones are going to be installed. I said, when are they coming? And he goes, I don't know. I haven't ordered them yet. And I was like, how am I going to do laundry? I have to do all my laundry today. And then when I told Mark about it, he goes, that is so not me. I know. so it was a nightmare.
I saw a video of a little hedgehog. It was a hedgehog that got stuck in a wire fence, and he was crying. And the person found the hedgehog and cut the wire fencing to get the little hedgehog out, and it was a pregnant hedgehog. And so he was nursing it back to health because it had been all stuck in the thing, And
hedgehog babies look like
they're little
pink, nasty little things.
No, these were
gross.
These were not pink.
Oh.
It showed
I think I saw them.
It showed them being born.
Oh, yeah.
And I was like. But there was this one scene in the middle of it where he's petting the hedgehog's belly because the belly was so fat.
I was gonna say, the other day I had a weird dream also because And I know why it happened to me, but I was like, lying in my bed and like, no, I guess in the dream, like the doctor, I think, was like doing something, treating my neck or something, and he like he put some, I don't know if it was a patch or something or if he touched something here, but like kind of hurt I had this really bad pain on the side of my neck. And then I think on the other side too, and it was like I couldn't hear or something weird with my ears, and I realized later what it was from was that I when I fell asleep, I guess I was like crooked on my pillows and stuff, and then I'm deaf in one ear, so if I sleep on this side, I literally cannot hear anything. So I had I had fallen asleep like in some weird position with my good ear like squished up against the pillow or something. But the weirdest thing was how much my neck hurt. Whatever the doctor was doing something to my neck and it was making my
Dreams are so weird. Yeah, I had a nightmare about washer and dryer. Like, my husband is not organized.
I remember when I was a little kid, a lot of my dreams I remember very clearly, but
yes.
When I was a little kid, Naomi had a toy dinosaur, a plastic dinosaur that was orange with like
glow in the dark
yellow spots or something, green spots. And I had a dream one night.
He was a T-Rex and he was articulated.
Yes, yeah.
And he could move, and his claws and his teeth, and I think his eyes glowed in the dark. He was very cool. He was
so
like,
I had this weird dream, and it was like kind of like a black and white, like an old-fashioned movie, but kind of like that sepia tone, brown and white kind of. And in this movie, the only thing I remember about it was I was running down a kind of wet cobblestone street, and I was being chased by a dinosaur, and the dinosaur was big and orange and had these spots on it. I was dreaming about being chased by Naomi's toy dinosaur.
So we're all going to the symphony.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, tonight.
Yes.
We're going with Rachel and Eli, we're going to go see Nightmare Before Christmas on the screen with the orchestra playing the score, and it's going to be very much fun. I am not working this weekend, but here I go back to Symphony Hall.
Must be holiday.
Can't stay away. And but I'm excited about it. It's gonna be really cool. So that's tonight. And funny from this morning. We went to McDonald's and Eli got himself some food, and look at his receipt. I was like, uh-oh, Eli. Watch out. But it was just funny. But yeah, we're going to symphony night. Eli's like, do we have any errands to run? I'm like, no, I have errands in this house. Because it's November, and I'm like, I really want to get ready for, thinking about Thanksgiving, and I gotta clean my house. Ugh, so bad. But yeah, thanks for joining us for another week. We hope that you have a great first week of November. And have fun voting, and we will see you next week.
Yes.
Bye.